Well, good evening, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys and you wonderful ladies, this literally, and I mean literally, does not work. You know, it's great. You don't know how happy it makes me to be able to come out here and to be actually doing videos from here. This is literally like a dream come true, and I cannot thank you guys enough for this because, you know, people think, oh, well, I can't help out. But it's like if you come in and you watch a video, even you trolls, and you give the thumbs up or the thumbs down, if you end up subscribing, if you end up sharing it with somebody else, all those things are what has helped this channel to grow. And we've had a lot of people that have done extra stuff, you know, like my great friend Joseph Heatherly, who's got my 53 Chevy truck right here. I'm going to see if I can get me a broke-ass media sticker emblem so we can put on the side of it, because then it will be perfect. I mean, what could be better? It's Cowboys blue. I mean, come on. It's perfect. And so being out here, and I think about how far this channel has come in literally 5 years, where we had actually less than 1,000 subscribers, to have this big sports desk, to have these multiple cameras and everything else, and to have so many of you guys, it's just unbelievable. And so with that being said, because you didn't come here for all that, you came here to find out the latest news on the Dallas Cowboys. Well, this doesn't actually relate to the Dallas Cowboys, but early reports of Aaron Donald being a thug and actually literally just going after a guy were wrong. The alleged victim's attorney issued an apology late last night or early this morning, however you want to look at it, basically saying, we're sorry, we didn't quite get the whole story, because Aaron Donald actually tried to break up the fight. The people that were actually going after the alleged victim were people that might have known Aaron Donald, and allegedly the victim had thrown a bottle at Aaron Donald. I'm just kind of wondering why any sane human being, and I don't care how big you are, would mess with Aaron Donald. Seriously. Seriously. This is basically when you see somebody that's dumb enough to do that, you basically want to say this.
Situation requires is a whole lot more, and you shut your mother ass up.
Yeah, just shut your mouth up. Seriously, you're going to get a beat down. That is one of the baddest men on the planet, and you want to mess with him? Okay, I got you. Okay, in other news, defensive tackle Sheldon Richardson was released by the Cleveland Browns yesterday because they signed Giovanni and Clowney. Now, understand, Clowney is a defensive end. Sheldon Richardson is a defensive tackle, a guy who is 30 years old but has not shown any signs of slowing down, and a guy that I look at and say, yeah, he would be the best defensive lineman we would have on the team if we signed him. But as of yet, the Dallas Cowboys are kind of, who? Defensive tackle? Yeah. So there's that. And 11 days from today, we'll be sitting out here. It's going to look a little different than what it does right now, because I'll have my man DMV here, and you know we got to do it a little differently. So it's going to be reconfigured. In fact, I've been working in my workshop on a new piece to add to the set to make this a little different, and to enable us to really and truly be able to rock and roll with this thing. So be looking out for that as well as we get ready for the draft. As we get ready for the draft, the thinking is, as much as people talk about the Cowboys are going to trade up for Kyle Pitts, Jerry Jones wants Kyle Pitts, I believe that's smokescreen. I just do. You never want people to know what you really and truly want. You want to have the ability to say, oh, what? Huh? I'll see you later. Yeah. You want people to not think you're interested in what you really are. You want to baffle them with bullshit. And who better to baffle people with bullshit than Jerry Jones? But Jerry Jones really wants to get back to glory hole days. He wants his team to get a Super Bowl bad. Now, he said that, if I could write a check, have you tried writing that check? I'm just curious. Have you tried writing it? Seriously. Try and write that check. I'm okay with. I'm good with that. I just want to see you hold up the Lombardi Trophy. But as we get to the draft, all jokes aside, Patrick Surtain, by the way this is shaping up, more than likely there'll be a minimum of 3 quarterbacks, if not 4, possibly even 5, taken before we pick, which is great news for us because that's going to pretty much leave us being able to take the best prospect in a number of positions. It just depends on how it falls. It could be anywhere from Patrick Surtain. It could end up Micah Patterson. It could end up being Kyle Pitts. It could be Penny Sewell. It could be any of these guys could be there available. The one that most mock drafts seem to have is Patrick Surtain. Now, let's get into Patrick Surtain a little bit here because I want to actually go through what his daddy said. His father, former NFL player, really good player, said this about his son. It's the Seattle's old defense. I know the D coordinator, the defensive coordinator, who was in Seattle when they had the Legion of Boom. So I think a lot of the misconception with that defense about being a man in the zone structure defense, I think for the most part, when I watched, I saw Richard Sherman and those guys play man on the outside. Obviously, it's a change-up to play the cover 3 with them bailing and everything, but with their physicality, with him and Trayvon Diggs' physicality, I'm sorry, I'm butchering this up. I can see some similarities between Sherman and those guys on the outside, but I saw them play a lot of press man and offset with some of the cover 3. So I think he can do it all, man. That's why I think he is highly coveted because he's an all-around corner. He can play zone. He can play man. He comes up with big tackles. He can play the slot if needed. So I think he would be the perfect fit. So Patrick Surtain's father is all in on him trying to become a Dallas Cowboy. And I'm going to play a little bit here of him in college and some of the highlights here as we finish up this video. I would not have a problem at all with getting Patrick Surtain or J.C. Horn. I think either one of them will make us a better defense. I would even be more on board with us being able to get some more help on the defensive tackle side. And this is where I look at a Sheldon Richardson. I don't understand why the Cowboys do not even consider kicking the tires, seeing what he's actually wanting. With the tools that are there these days, the voidable years that people are using to the nth degree, you're looking at some of these great players out here that still have some mileage on them that are basically, as far as a cap hit goes, getting pennies on the dollar. Now, again, we put Patrick Surtain on this defense with, of course, Diggs having a second year. We're getting better. We're getting better. He is a 5-tool type of a guy. He can play press. He can play man-to-man. He can play in the zone. And he's a guy who seems to be around the ball and does really, really well. I'm not saying that wouldn't be a good pick. I am not whatsoever. But if we can team this up with some more help on the defensive line, because here's the way I look at this, and I'm just going to take Kyle Pitts out of the whole equation because I sit here and I see how the teams in our division have been loading up on receivers. Teams are trying to get better offensively. I'm not sure that Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to be the guy that's really going to take Washington over the top. But here's the thing I know about Washington. The Washington football team had the 27th rated defense in 2019. They got Chase Young as the main impact player on there. And they got Ron Rivera, who is a defensive-minded coach. Those two things helped to vault that defense from 27th to 4th. That's major. Now, granted, some of that is a little bit deceptive because, of course, most of their games were against teams in the NFC East. And without Dak Prescott, Cowboys didn't score a whole lot of points. And then you had Daniel Jones, let's be real, and you had Carson Wentz, who was doing what Carson Wentz does, which was sucking pretty much. So that was a down year for the NFC East, and you weren't having a lot of points. However, with that being said, that defense scared a lot of people. That defense enabled them to get into the playoffs. That defense led that team. I would love to have that defense with Dak Prescott in our offense that's coming back. I don't think that that's a possibility from where we are, but then again, they went from 27th to 4th. We don't necessarily need it to be the 4th-rate defense. It would help us out tremendously if it did. But if we can get a defense that gets into the top 15 and can take the football away, you will see a night and day difference on results for this team. I feel like they're pretty good with where this team is. I would like to see the Dallas Cowboys do like a lot of other teams and say, we're going to get some extra playmakers in here because we want to make sure we have enough to compete, not just in our own division, but in the NFC, and try to make a run on this thing. We've been bullshitting for too long. I'm ready for the Cowboys to try and take another step. So that being said, we'll see what happens. And it's almost 7 o'clock. This is crazy. I have been on the go all day long trying to get stuff done. I've been trying to beautify the outdoor set out here. In fact, these pieces are trim pieces that I have to use to try and hide some of the wires and stuff that are up here. So I've got to get that stuff done to make it look better because, of course, my wife says, yeah, it just doesn't look finished. Yeah, I know. We'll get there. We'll get there at some point. And I want to make sure that everything is perfect come the draft. We ain't got much time. Thank God. All right, y'all. I guess that's all I got for you right now. And this is it. Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. I wish